Hey friends, this is Bobby Shanks, owner of Shanks Realty Group.
And Donna Mitchell with Guaranteed Rate Mortgage.
And this is your weekly episode of Kitchen Talk. Okay, so Donna and I decided that we were going to talk about something that's very special and near and dear to our heart, not only on an individual level, but something that we experienced and how we met 16 years ago. So what are we going to talk about?
So first of all, it started off because, as you all know, we have been saying it's so crazy hot outside, and it's hot in here because we have to turn the air conditioner off because you can hear the blower. So all that being said, I was like, hey, how about we wear tank tops today and go kind of casual, because it has been crazy.
Well, and we both came from our
right, and we're always working out. We do.
Yeah.
So it's like, let's wear tank tops and be more casual and kind of tie in our conversation, because health and fitness has been a big part of our lives. That's how we met. That's how we live, right? Like it's not a fad. It's not like a phase. It is how we choose to live. So like we're like, let's talk about that.
So let's start in the beginning.
Okay.
So
in the beginning,
when we first Genesis 1:1.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
In the beginning. So we met January of 2006.
Okay.
Is that correct?
16 years, I think so.
That sounds right to me. And we met, now I'm just going to talk about me. I'll let you talk about you. But we met at boot camp at the Arnold Recreation Center.
We did.
And speaking for me, and this is very personal. And, a lot of my life is played out on social media. And
mine's more private.
It's a lot more private.
Yeah, I know.
But so I'll be a little vulnerable. I was at a place in my life where I had left my corporate job because it made me extremely unhappy and unhealthy. And at that particular time in my life, I was over 300 pounds. Which, I'm like a tall guy and naturally.
Like if I was 300 pounds, it would be very different than you were.
No, I understand. But
no, I know.
But like there are no pictures of me on this earth once I got over 275 pounds.
I feel you. Girls stop taking pictures at a certain point too. We all do.
Yeah. And I wasn't 300 pounds. I was over 300.
Yeah.
And I've kind of told this story before in a different forum. But there was this event that happened for me where I went to the doctor and then I came home, took a shower. And again, I'm just going to be semi-graphic here. I got out of the shower and I stood butt naked in front of my mirror and I looked at myself and I'm like, oh.
You had a come to Jesus moment.
I actually call it my man in the mirror. It literally was my man in the mirror moment.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? My family deserves a better version of me than this. And I was a better person than that. And, it happens so gradually, right? For me, it started like at 26. And by the time I was 30, I was eating all the wrong things, drinking the wrong things, consuming a tremendous amount of calories with liquids. Anyways, I'm like, you know what? This is it. And that was like on a Friday, and Monday morning, I was in boot camp. And I'll never forget, and then I'll hand the baton off.
Okay.
I'll never forget Heather Patterson, Heather Wegge, Beth Dupner.
Yes.
Were our drill instructors.
They were.
And I could not do a push-up without being on my knees.
Okay.
And
you've come a little way since then.
A little bit. I didn't overcorrect.
Now you started a session before me, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay,
I did,
so
in
you
November.
You were like 2 months in when I met you. But still
6 weeks or so.
Yeah, 6 weeks in, kind of at the beginning of things. Yeah.
So that at the age of 30, and I am now 46, so 16 years later, was the beginning of what I didn't know at the time, but what was to become a permanent lifestyle change.
Yeah.
In the way that I keep myself healthy. And for me, going to the gym and eating 5 handfuls of spinach every day and healthy protein.
Chicken, green beans.
Lots of chicken,
all
lots
this
of
stuff.
green
I know, right?
rice.
Same.
Little did I know at that time that change in my life would literally change my life.
Yeah.
And here I am 16 years later, and I'm super happy about that. And I'm super happy that that's where we met.
We did. We met on the gym floor.
We met right smack on the gym floor.
Running circles, and you came up next to me and we're chatting, and we were chatting.
Right. I was like, hi. Where'd she go?
Hi, up there.
It is really funny how we just like hit it off. Like you were in banking and I was in like new in real estate.
Brand new,
and,
yeah.
And I don't know, we just had similar personalities. And of course we had that class every single day.
We did. We were on a similar path with health and fitness. Were. So we just we connected that way.
And then years later, we became, when you left commercial banking and went into mortgage lending, and we've been rocking in business and fitness and PR events and charity events ever since.
Yes.
So what was your, if you want to share?
I will.
It might be too personal.
No,
just share whatever you want to share.
I will. So we didn't, we never prepare these things. We just kind of get here and we start talking, right?
Extemporaneous.
Yes. And I was busy all morning and wanted to come in a tank top. And now it's like tell us about your weakest point in your life, right? But I'll play along. I will play along. Okay. So to your point, right? Believe it or not, some of you guys might not realize this, but I'm kind of short. I'm on the shorter end of things, right? I am.
How tall are you?
4'11".
I would say, are you even 5 foot?
I know, I'm not. Okay. I used to be 4'11" and a half. I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm more like 4'11" now, as I feel like as I get older, I've shrunk some. I'm really hard to admit that. Anyway, so all that being said, as a smaller build frame girl, right? Every pound I feel like shows on me. So I had a similar moment way before I met you, actually. 20 years ago, where, like you said, life happens and I was in a bad marriage. It just all of the things that I let go. I don't know if a lot of you guys know this about me, but I was 187 pounds at my heaviest. That is really hard to say on camera. Right?
That's a lot of beef, baby.
It's a lot on a small person, right? So
it's because you're so small.
Yeah. So
I was 180 pounds in 3rd grade.
Yeah. So, 80 pounds off now, but literally, think about that. 80 more pounds on me was a really big deal. And it was a very scary awareness kind of thing. So, I hit that point where I was just oh my gosh, I've got to do something different, blah, blah, blah. So when I met you, I was actually I was small. I was probably about the same size, actually. I was this size. I was fit. I had just run my first marathon, which was the St. Jude's in December, right? So I was coming off of that marathon high and was I need a workout program or something to keep going with, with this path. Yep. And that was why I joined boot camp. That and the fact that I never slept well, right? So I was taking the morning class and the evening class because it was at 5:30 in the morning. I'd get there early. I'd get there earlier than the 5:45 class.
You're crazy like that.
And run. Yeah, I am.
I can't do that much cardio.
Yeah, but I definitely hit my low, which was my high, right? My highest weight was my lowest point. And just kind of had that moment. And in all honesty, I've always
that's clever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna remember that. Good job.
My low and my high.
You hit your low when you're at your high. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was the same way.
That was the moment for me. And I'm so old school. I'm so conservative. I'm old fashioned, right? I'm a purist with a lot of things, right?
You are.
So I was just diet and exercise, man. I'm just gonna go about it with the simple stuff, diet and exercise, right? So I don't like to take pills or supplements or all the kooky stuff that's out there.
All the stuff I do.
Well, no, but there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that's out there. People do all kinds of things. But for me, it was just always just go with the basics, diet and exercise. So, that's the path. And I've had a few ups and downs in the middle, but for the most part of the last 20 years, I've been pretty consistent in, maintaining my weight. I had a section there where I had a bunch of surgeries, which got me out of exercising, and I put on the weight so fast because that's my deal. I love to exercise.
Yeah.
But when I'm healthy and I'm able to exercise and just stay with a nutrition plan, I taught a boot camp class for 7 years. I started the Arnold Running Club and trained people for marathons, right?
Yep.
So
we taught boot camp together for
year and a half.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I thought it was even longer than that, but it was fun.
Yeah. So when you sign up to teach it, you live it yourself more, right? You're more committed to yourself.
Yeah, because now you're setting the example,
right?
Mm-hmm.
So like that's an intentional accountability,
mm-hmm.
right? I'm going to help somebody else, and in doing that, I'm going to help myself. Like it's going to hold me accountable.
Yeah.
So like that was kind of my path, and I love to run. Most people are like, I don't understand why it's either in you.
Clearly, I'm not built to be a runner.
It's a passion for me, and I like to do workout classes. Obviously, we have whole different plans, right? Like my muscles are not your muscles.
Yeah,
right?
I go to the gym and lift weights. I don't do any cardio at all.
Yeah, and I'm cardio girl, and I do some weights because my class has weights. So, but I'll do like 2 or 3 classes a day.
Yeah,
and part of that's working from home and just needing a break too. So it's kind of nice, like. Get out, go do a class, come back, focus on things again. So that's kind of my story.
What has been your all-time favorite workout? And I'm going to answer too.
Are you going to say the P90X that we did?
Yes!
We totally did.
Okay, so we did P. Yes. Oh, look, I just got goosebumps on my arm. When we did P90, so it was you, me, Tom.
Yes, Tony.
Tony. Oh my gosh, Tony, and did her husband come too?
No, Jeff didn't come.
Jeff didn't come.
Yeah.
That married couple, I thought they came too. Anyways, P90X. That
was one of the first really big exercise programs that took off, like back in the day.
Oh, it did.
Like it was everybody doing P90X, and we set it up in my basement, right? So we had the big mirror,
and we were hardcore.
We
did not mess around.
No, we did it. We had all the pads.
We had a projector.
We could do the pull-ups, everything. Yeah. It was so fun.
To this day, I will tell if anybody asks me, which for me is like at least once a week.
Yeah, somebody asked about your muscles.
Well, whatever.
What's your fitness plan? Right.
But I can like what I do is something that has taken years to sort of arrive at. And not only that, I've done competitive bodybuilding.
Right.
So I'm just a little different than, someone who's just looking for like general health or whatever.
Right.
But here's what I tell people, male or female, if you want to get started, step 1 is get started. If you go to a gym, whether it's a small gym or a commercial gym, get a trainer. You have to learn how to eat. See, that's the hard one, right?
I told everybody all the time, you can out-eat a good exercise program all day long.
You can't out-train a bad diet.
Oh, see?
Can't out-train a bad diet. Same thing.
Yeah, like it's true.
It's impossible.
True. Yeah.
And I know, and I'll speak for men, I know some men that like I know how strong they are.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as Tony Horton used to say in P90X, you'll be fit, but you won't look fit. So this is the biggest muscle that you need to learn how to use if you want to look fit. Oh, people hate hearing. Look, people hate hearing it because they know it's true.
Yeah. I don't drink alcohol.
That's a big one.
And so in all honesty, I don't want to waste the calories. I'm not a drinker anyway.
Because I'm sitting here drinking probably the first soda that I've had in a month.
Mine is iced tea. But yeah, I don't like to drink calories. I don't want to put the calories into it. Yeah. It's just, I know.
To this day, I will tell somebody, if you want to get started, if you want to do it at home or you're not really comfortable doing the gym thing or whatever, P90X. Because
it's still a great workout.
It's timeless.
Something different every day. Like they hit all the different muscle groups and And they
It's
do different
easy to
versions.
follow.
Yeah, they had plyo, they had yoga, they had all kinds of stuff that was in there.
I
It was
miss
a good
yoga.
mixture. I remember I did not like
was
yoga.
So good for me.
It's so hard for me to slow down.
I can't say that I liked it.
You did.
But I tolerated it because I knew it was good for my body. I know
it's super beneficial. When I work out, I like to jump around. I like higher energy stuff. But I do. I know it's so beneficial. Yeah.
So let's talk about what we're doing for our health and fitness today, because I'm sure some people might be interested in that. For me, I eat a lot of chicken because it's a good, clean, lean protein source.
A clean, lean protein.
And I do rice, although I have been sort of guilty here because it's summer.
4th of July.
I've been eating a lot of that caponelli.
I don't know what that is.
It's a pasta, and it's starchy. It's white floury. Carbs. It's a good carb as far as how it burns.
Yeah.
But it's not the best carb. But I do rice too, and then I do 5 handfuls of spinach every day.
Yeah. So for me, I saw a nutritionist for a while, which I love. I like having that guidance, right? Like every doctor you go to from the time you turn 40 on blames everything on your age, right? Oh, you're a woman in your 40s. Oh, you're a woman in your 50s. Like they like everything. Like there's no actual answers. They just blame it on you're a female and you're this old.
I don't like that.
I love my nutritionist, and like they understand those kind of things. And so for me and for what I'm doing, I am mostly lean meats, veggies, some fruits, not too much fruits.
That turkey, low carb. What is it that you make? That turkey?
The turkey with the avocado. Yes, that turkey avocado. So like, because
heaven on earth.
And my diet is kind of high in fats, but it's the healthy fats, so it makes it yummy.
Oh, I eat a lot of animal fat. I can't get a bacon.
I do little carbs, little to no carbs. I love the protein, collagen, electrolyte replenisher stuff for my smoothie. But yeah, if I keep it pretty basic and all those things, like I know what I like, I know what I'm getting, right? So
what are you doing for your workouts right now?
For my workouts, I kind of overdo the workouts.
But it's a phase you're in, right? You're in a phase.
I've been doing it for about a year. I do 2 or 3 workouts a day. They're each about 45 minutes, and I'll run like anywhere from 5 to 7 miles. So I work out 2 to 3 hours a day, and I do try to rotate it. So like my 7-mile runs are like every other day. And then I'll do like a 4-mile run with 3 classes. And like I rotate it through. So I mean, it's 2 hours, 2.5 hours, 3 hours, 2.5 hours, 2 hours, 3 hours. So it's not like 3 hours, 3 hours, 3 hours every day.
Yeah.
And I get up early, and I'll do I start at 6 o'clock. So I'll have a couple hours done in the morning, and then, maybe do an afternoon and an evening kind of thing.
So I lift weights.
Really? I didn't notice.
In case you couldn't tell.
Me too. All right, make a muscle. We're both going to make a muscle okay. Do the chest thing. That's like your signature move, right?
Signature move.
I hope that showed up on the video. Do it again. Yeah, I can't do that. All right, sorry.
I'm such a child.
Okay, so you lift.
So I always work out 4 days, lift weights 4 days a week, usually for an hour. Yeah. I try for 5. It just depends on the week. And sometimes it's morning, sometimes it's lunch, sometimes it's 7 o'clock at night. It just depends on what my client appointments are for the day.
Sure.
And I go to a couple different gyms, just kind of depends on where I'm at in, the general area for that particular day. But I want to go back to, and I actually do take quite a few vitamins. Vitamin D, B,
I take
C,
vitamin D.
A.
I take vitamin D and calcium. Again, because female, in my 50s, right? So those are a big deal of depletion at my age. So.
Here's a big one. How much do you know about 75 hard?
A ton, obviously. Well, I mean, people in the fitness industry.
That is a great program.
So that's
I might actually stack that one, not over or under, but against P90X.
So the 75 hard has been the craze for several years now, and it's
amazing.
2 45-minute workouts a day. One of them is supposed to be outside, at least one of them outside, but 2 45-minute workouts a day, a gallon of water,
minimum.
Reading.
How much time do you have to read? Is it 10 minutes?
Minimal. I think it's 10 minutes. I think it's 10 minutes of reading a day on some kind of self-help.
And get to the big one.
No alcohol.
Zero alcohol for 75 days.
And here's the interesting thing. that's the reason that most people don't do the program is the
Oh,
alcohol.
and that is also the reason,
People fail.
a big reason that the people who do it, like my neighbor, 40 pounds.
In 75 days.
Yeah. And he's probably like right at 6 foot tall.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot of, and he looks really good.
And clean eating, not a particular diet plan, but clean eating to a diet plan. And it's an everyday deal for 75 days. So you can have big results in 2.5 months. You really can. Yeah.
They say it takes 21 days
to form a new habit.
To form a new habit, good or bad.
True.
So 75 days of doing that is more than enough time. And they say that if you mess up, like if you so much as take a drop of Michelob Ultra, which isn't even really alcohol.
You're starting all over with day one.
You got to start with day one.
Yep. It's hardcore.
It's hardcore. And I think that's a good thing.
It should be.
It leaves no room for people
There's
to make
no participation
excuses.
trophy in this one.
True that.
I'm going to say that.
True that.
Right? It's either you're all in or you're all out.
So part of this is, and this is a big one for me, is to how much sleep do you get? Now, here's why I bring this up.
I know. It's part of your health. It is
men,
a big part of your health.
Even men half my age in the gym. I'm gonna tell you, I'm becoming that guy in the gym.
You're the older man
that young guys come up to and they're like, I hope I look like you when I'm your age. And I'm like, you won't.
Nice. Good luck
I mean,
that.
I don't say that, but it's funny.
Now, are you saying that because you're watching their okay, that's what I was going to say.
The discipline is hard.
You're watching their patterns and you're like, you're not disciplined enough to get there.
Look,
the commitment.
This didn't come in a P90X bottle. This did not come in a juice drink. This is just 16 years of eating right and going to the gym 4 to 5 days a week for 1 hour. Right? It's not the work, and my workouts aren't special. They're like the same workouts that people were doing in the 50s. Basics. Very
diet
foundational.
Yeah.
But when and I'm speaking mostly to men because I am one. When a man asks me, like, what do I need to do? The first thing I'll tell him is, especially if they're over the age of 40, I'll say, have you done blood work?
Yeah, that's a big thing with you. I know you have said that before.
You don't know what's happening in here that affects all of this out here until you get blood work. Go to your doctor, go to a place like Summit Rejuvenation, which is a hormone replacement therapy clinic for men and women, as well as other things that they do as far as health and wellness.
I do basic health blood work. I've only done like make sure my cholesterol and
There's
all of those
plenty of
things are
places to
in
do
check. Yeah, I don't do the level you do. Mine is totally just my physical every year. I go for a physical every year, right?
You can get blood work done and even pay cash. You don't even have to turn in your insurance for $250.
Yeah. Yours is more extensive though. Yours is geared towards mine is just a normal kind of physical kind of thing. Like,
so number one is I say get your blood work and make sure that you put it in front of somebody who's qualified to read it to you, interpret to you, and then advise you on what it means and what you need to do. Number two is I will say, and because I've learned this, especially when I was competing, the most androgenic thing you can do, male or female, is get sleep. Healthy sleep.
I know.
And
I've always had trouble sleeping. Anybody that knows me knows that about me.
You may have to break it up.
I was nicknamed Ambien for 15 years of my life.
I remember that.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many people only know me as Ambien.
Ambien, yeah.
And that was a joke because I just don't sleep. I didn't actually take it. I took Ambien like one time and had a really bad experience on it. I don't take sleeping medicine. But like I have always had trouble sleeping. So, and it's interesting because there's a lot of science and debate going on over sleep studies right now. And
it's so crucial.
Like, I feel like everybody is different there. Like I on a regular basis am lucky to get maybe 6 hours good sleep. I'm more like 5 hours of sleep. I don't sleep well. I never have. Yeah.
I'm 6 hours.
And the whole 8 hours of sleep. I don't know if that's is that outdated information or is it Is it still ideal? Is it, I don't know. But for me, I've never been able, there's been so few times in my life where I've ever slept on a regular basis for 8 hours.
So I'm not qualified
not
to have like any level of professional opinion, but I will dare say that, and I mean, I'm not qualified to say this, but
I know, right?
I will dare say
we're sharing our own experiences.
People who get 8 hours of sleep or more are probably not as healthy as people who get 8 hours or less. Now, I don't mean 3 hours either. Like I get 6 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
But I'm a pretty high energy guy. Like I am.
Me too.
Rocking. Right. We match like that.
Yeah.
But I will say, like Saturday morning, eat a little breakfast, maybe go back to bed for an hour. Totally me.
I have maybe taken like 2 naps the entire year. I'm not a napper.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, I have high energy levels all the time.
You do.
I'm not sleepy. I'm not sleepy.
Energizer bunny.
I have often been called that, right? Like it's true because I am a high energy person. So I'm not lacking energy. I'm not tired. I don't need a nap, but I'll sleep 5 or 6 hours tops.
Yeah.
Tops, right? I'm just not a good sleeper.
Yeah.
And I feel that kind of falls in line with like even like work stuff, right? Like people are more productive at different times during the day.
Yes.
Like, our friend Dan, that dude is up at like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, Dan Haynes?
Yes.
Oh my
Like
God.
I love him. He does that 5, what is it called? The miracle.
Oh yeah.
The miracle hour, whatever it is. Like he gets up at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And like, that's his prime time, man. That is when he is productive. He'll work out. He'll get work done. Like I think it's called The Miracle Morning.
Yeah,
that book
that does sound right. And it's also been proven, if you need more evidence, I can't remember what book it was. The Millionaire Next Door or the Millionaire Mindset. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
Kind of one of it's a self-help book, but it says. And I mean, everybody knows what I'm about to say or some version of it they've seen on social media, that people who rise earlier have the most production and have the most wealth.
So
I believe that.
For me,
I ain't getting up at 4 a.m., Dan.
You know,
Forget that.
Here's like with me, it's seasonal for me.
Me too.
Like in the summertime when the sun is up.
Oh, I'm on like Donkey Kong.
Yeah. Yep. I'm up at 5 or 6 I'm hitting the 6 o'clock class, right?
Yep.
Like the exercise class all summer long. I'm awake naturally at that time.
Yeah.
Because the sun is up and I'm like, yep, let's go. I want to run before it gets too hot. I'm going to get a few exercise classes in. But in the winter, when it's dark in the morning, I'll sleep till 8 o'clock. I will. I'll sleep till 8 o'clock. Part of that sometimes too is I didn't fall asleep until 2 o'clock because I had trouble sleeping. So, but in the summertime, I'm kind of with the sun. When the sun is up, I'll wake up, right? So if it's coming up later and it's, wintertime, I'll sleep in.
Same.
Yeah.
Well, so let's wrap this episode up. Donna and I just came from our workouts and we thought, fitness, you guys are used to hearing us talk about lots of topics.
I thought we were going to talk about the concert. Let's talk about that real quick. Can we do that?
Yes.
Okay. Speaking of hot.
Well, you have to speak to it because
I wanted to.
It
was so cool. So I got to go to the Stadium Tour concert the other night.
Well, hold on. Who all? This was the.
So it was rescheduled from 2020. So right. So like my boyfriend that I went with, like his tickets literally are like June 2020.
All right. Who all did you see? Who all was there?
Okay, so it was Joan Jett, Motley Crue, Def Leppard. I know. Poison.
Oh,
it was so good.
Poison.
I know, it was so good. It was
look
hot.
at my goosebumps.
As we were talking about the heat.
Like
one of my friends put on Facebook. It was Africa hot. It was hot. It was 100 degrees, and if you were on the field, it was hot. I'll tell you what, we lucked out, and it was an all day deal, man. Like it started like 4 o'clock and went to like 11.
Yeah.
It was just like all day.
And it was at Busch.
Classic rock. Busch Stadium. Yeah. It was so cool. We lucked out. Our seats were way up high. We were in the shade and there was even like a good breeze. So it was and I was with a super cool guy, right? So like it was so awesome. It was like the weather, it was the best scenario you could have for it being over 100 degrees that day. We were fairly comfortable, right? I mean, I know people that just punted their tickets and are like,
no, the best scenario is you're sitting in a seat at Ballpark Village, having cold drinks brought to you, wearing a hoodie, and watching it on the Jumbotron.
That could have been too, but no, it was awesome. And I had a lot of friends that just like,
what was your favorite?
Couldn't do that. Okay, so Poison I feel like was the most entertaining.
Okay,
I love Poison.
Were they all black-eyed, makeup and eyeliner?
They were legit, like, you know.
Did they have the skimpy little catsuit girls out on the stage?
No, he
like
had his
80s
typical
videos?
Bandana with the long hair, which I've heard for years that's just a wig. Like, that hasn't actually been his hair forever.
It's probably bald by now.
He just got out of the hospital, so they weren't even sure if he was going to be there. So he had. So I feel like they were the most fun, and I love their songs, right? And nothing like your boyfriend sitting there singing like Top Dirty to me. Like, that's such a cool song. It was just so fun. It was so fun. But I will say Def Leppard.
Let's keep it PG, Donna.
I know. Def Leppard I felt like was the best performance.
Okay.
Like they harmonized through a few, like they were still very talented. So I felt like Def Leppard really had the talent that night. But all in all, it was such a cool event, and it was like so fun because like I'm looking through my Facebook and like everybody was there but you.
So I have a funny story.
Okay, go.
Personal anecdote. So I grew up in a very conservative Christian family, church like 3 or 4 times a week, rural Missouri. And like I probably had 100 gospel songs memorized by the time I was in 5th grade.
Yeah.
And I remember I hope my parents don't watch this. They're just going to be beside themselves. The first rock song I ever learned the words to.
Yeah.
Pour some sugar on me. And I learned it at church camp.
No, you did not. You did not. Sticky Sweet.
I totally did.
Oh my God.
You remember when we had Sony Walkmans?
Yes.
Oh
my God, that's so awesome.
Like I had
that song, people were just screaming.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
It was awesome. It was awesome. It was
like
so cool.
I made it my mission to make sure that I learned the lyrics. I know the lyrics to this day. I could sing the whole song.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I can say that about too many other rock songs. I mean, I can hum to all of them. I mean, there's some, but I know the words to that whole song.
You got to use that. I'll tell you what. nothing like a handsome man like singing a song to you, just like fun song. I know. I love it. I'm not gonna lie. What's
wrong with me?
I was like, let's go to lots of concerts now, honey.
Hey, I haven't been to a concert in a legit concert at like Riverport or something.
Well, they canceled them all for the last couple
Well, I
years.
guess that's why I haven't been. But
yeah.
So if anybody's got some good ideas for concerts or live music,
what he's trying to say is, if anybody has an extra ticket, invite them. There, I said
invite
it for
me.
You. Yeah.
Or if you want to sell a ticket. Well, 2. I mean, I would probably go with somebody. I wouldn't go. I don't know. I would go by myself. I go by myself to a lot of stuff. I'm quirky like that. All right, we're done.
We can wrap up.
Let's go outside and into the furnace, and you run 7 miles. All right, we love you guys. Happy midsummer. And stay tuned for other episodes of Kitchen Talk coming to you weekly right here from Studio 108 or whatever.
Be healthy, be fit, make good decisions. Take care.
Hugs and kisses. See ya.